SNL recently is getting people are showing them a lot of love because it seems like they are getting a little bit more edgier with the whole. They're doing a bunch of skits making fun of influencers. Kamala, have you noticed that at all? That they're being a little bit more edgier.
I have noticed that a little bit. I haven't watched like a full SNL episode in I don't know how long,
Mm.
decades probably. But I see the clips when they come up on YouTube. I think like most people, I have been impressed.
Seems like they're shitting on Kamala a bit.
Yeah. So
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think their Kamala impression, the Maya Rudolph impression, is pretty lame. Like it's pretty tame. Uh, you could tell that they're
trying, at least a bit.
they're trying a little bit, but they don't want to actually insult her.
Mm-hmm.
But even so, I mean, I every once in a while I'll see a skit from SNL where I'm kind of impressed. I'm like, this is okay. Maybe you're getting your funny bone back a little bit. I don't know. And every once in a while they kind of they lightly tread somewhere where you're sort of impressed that they were willing to go there at all. But the bar's pretty low these days. Like, and I think it's because on the left, you know, comedy has been dead for. I mean, when's the last time? You know, what's the last funny major studio comedy film to come out? Unless you're counting these superhero
we should actually
movies.
see if we can answer that.
It's been a while.
The Interview.
There's got to be some more recent than that.
So good.
But that was like 10 years ago.
Yeah,
right?
that was if I'm answering that question, it's The Interview.
Yeah, because I always felt, and I didn't see that one, but to me it seemed like 2012 to 2014 was the end of mainstream comedy, and then it just went away for like a decade. But you think it was more recent than that?
Yeah, I'm trying to think, but there's got to be something.
No, bro, it's The Interview. It was the last one.
That was like controversial and funny.
Yeah, yeah, it's so good.
Maybe you're right, dude.
Because that was back when, I mean, you had like the early 2000s into the early part of the 2010s when you had.
When did Bruno come out?
Yeah, so I mean that was
Sacha Baron Cohen when he did Bruno. Bruno was amazing.
2010. I mean, the first Borat was 2006 or 7, I think. And then it was right around like 2013ish that they just stopped making comedies, and they haven't really done it since. And I think this is part of the reason why, where it's like you can't. There's so many rules now.
You think stand-up is kind of the last place that that form of comedy exists?
Yeah, and there's a lot of funny stand-up out there, but even the funny stand-ups these days they probably wouldn't identify themselves as conservative, but they're not leftist. Like they're kind of right of center at least. You know, guys like Shane Gillis or whoever. I mean, he's not. I wouldn't call him conservative, but he's not a liberal. So you got to kind of be like on this side of the center, or the right side of the center at least, to do funny comedy these days. It seems like, unless there's some hilarious leftist out there that I'm not aware of. Maybe there is. But
the talk show host too. I didn't even realize, because we just did Trump and we asked him about all the different talk show hosts, and like I never even watched them, but just like even seeing their responses to that, like Jimmy Kimmel, Colbert, funny. They're all like, all they do is just trash Trump every single show.
And they trash him, but
it's so weird
in a way that's not funny. Like you could make fun of Trump in a funny way, and there are a million funny Trump impersonations out there. Even the Trump impersonation on SNL now is pretty funny. It took him a long time to find a funny one, but the guy who does it now is funny. So you could be funny and make fun of Trump, obviously, but the problem is that when they make fun of him, they just hate him, and they're not even trying to be funny. It's just like there's so much like hatred and contempt in their jokes about Trump that it's not funny. And I think especially to make a parody or a satire of someone, to impersonate someone in a funny way, you have to have a little bit of almost like affection for them.
Yeah.
At least a little bit, where you know, so like the guy on SNL now, I don't know who it is who does the Trump impersonation, but it's funny. And you could tell that that guy, I'm sure he's probably a liberal, but I don't think he's like seething with rage at Trump, because he's studied him enough to pick up the mannerisms. And I don't know, if you're just blind with rage, that's not a good starting point for comedy, you know, it seems to me.